A very good evening to you and welcome to the Business Day. I'm Dwayne Burbick. A parliamentarian has suggested that lawmakers are behind the high bank fees and charges consumers now face. The suggestion came from Member of Parliament for St. Mary's Central, Dr. Maurice Guy, as he made his contribution to the amendments to the Banking Services Act. But what is his reason for saying this? Dashan Hendricks tells us more.
Parliament passed the Proceeds of Crime Act in 2013, ruling out cash transactions above $1 million as a means of reducing money laundering. That is its stated aim, but MP for St. Mary's Central, Dr. Maurice Guy, said through that legislation, parliamentarians aided and abetted banks in runaway charges to consumers.
The banks, Mr. Speaker, could not have been happier. In fact, Mr. Speaker, they laughed all the way to the banks. Consequent on this amendment, there was now a pool of customers' money on which they could charge any and every imaginable fee. And if there was no activity after that time, dormant fees. We have literally aided the opening of a significant funding to the banks to literally exploit the customer.
And so he said he supports the legislation for regulation of bank fees and charges. Dr. Guy said that is because the argument that competition will determine fees is not a valid one, since most times, especially in rural communities, there is only one financial entity available to consumers, and the similarity in fees charged suggests some collusion.
This has to stop, Mr. Speaker. Banks need to revert to their core business of giving loans and collecting interest, among other things. Their performance and their profits cannot be consequent, and they ride on the backs of consumers, the poor farmers, the working professionals, the teachers, the nurses, the policemen, the retiree, and the pensioners.
He said the Parliament may not have done the right thing to amend the Banking Act before passing the Poker Act, but it has a chance to correct that action by passing the amendments now under consideration. For the Business Day, I am Dashan Hendricks.
Currency trading ended today with the US dollar selling for $129.91. The Canadian dollar is being sold for $95.48. The pound sterling goes for $167.41, while the euro sells for $143.33. Digicel has signaled that it intends to raise more funds than originally targeted after seeing strong demand from investors for its loans. The company had gone to the market to borrow $935 million US, but seeing positive investor response, Digicel said it will instead borrow $1.25 billion US. That money will be used to pay off $856 million US in loans, which were due to be repaid between March 2018 and March 2019. The rest of the funds is to be used as desired by the company, including paying $15 million for IDOM Technologies, the French overseas tech company Digicel announced last week that it had acquired. The group is currently in the middle of its biggest ever restructuring plan, which would see 1,500 staff or a quarter of its workforce leave the company by the middle of next year. Stocks ended mostly higher today, but declines in heavyweight shares such as Pan Jam and Carreras led the main JSE market index lower by 258 points, while the junior market index lost 10 points. The stocks ending with gains for their investors, those included Access Financial, Cargo Handlers, Caribbean Producers, Honeybun, Jamaican Teas, Main Event Entertainment, the Scotia Group, and T-Tech. On the losing end were 1834 Investments, Carreras, Derrimon Trading, Jamaica Producers, the JMMB Group, Mayberry Investments, and Seprod. And that's the Business Day. I'm Dwayne Burbick. Have a great evening.